Hi there. It has been 8,500,000 degrees in Oklahoma for quite some time, but the last couple of days it has been pretty temperate. And by temperate I mean it's still probably in the 80s, but at least I'm not really melting into a tiny little puddle. So I decided to rush out to my local park here and just paint this cool little statue. I've always loved that statue right there, so we're gonna do that. And there goes an ice cream truck, so that's pretty fun. Maybe I'll have to hit that up. All right, so here is our subject for today. I've always loved the lines of this statue, and she just looks like she's enjoying her book there and having a lot of fun. It's in this nice little just peaceful circular garden area with all kinds of plants and flowers and things. So it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully I'm not making you dizzy with my camera. I'm not really a camera person. All right, now this is an interesting bit of a setup here. I have one of these lap things that sometimes you can use to put laptops on top of. I was trying to do it without that, but sitting here on a park bench, it's a little bit difficult for everything to kind of sit here. Like my water cup here, it's a collapsible silicone water cup. That kind of stuff gets to be a little bit difficult if you're trying to hold it all on your lap. So I just pulled this out of my car, which is where I keep it, and we're gonna use that. And full disclosure, I did come out here yesterday and do most of the drawing and then took a picture and finished the drawing at home. I tried to do this painting yesterday and it was just too bloody hot is all I'm gonna say about that. Like the sun started coming out and in my face and it was just too sunny and too hot, so I gave up. But it just so happens that today was pretty decent weather as well, so I decided to come out and finish it. And that absolutely never happens in Oklahoma. And right now it kind of looks like the sun is trying to peek out again, so hopefully I don't have a repeat of yesterday. It has been overcast all morning. The second I get out here and start to paint, it would do that, wouldn't it? That is just par for the course for Oklahoma, if I'm being honest. I have this little palette that I got off of Etsy, I think. It's just a, 3D printed plastic thing. And I've still got lots of green here, and we're gonna start with green anyway. So, just gonna get to it here. And I am actually just gonna start using some of this and just get to it in the background. I'm going to do this fairly light in the background because if I'm looking at this scene, the bronze of the statue is very difficult to discern from the dark trees behind it. So I'm kind of going to do a little creative editing here and just make the background recede a little bit more by making it lighter and kind of bluer than it would be in life. And that's just going to kind of draw maybe some attention to the subject. And it's awfully hot and humid out here today, so my paint is probably going to dry really quickly, which means we might have some painterly type of effects that I wouldn't normally have. Like there's a bloom right there forming. And that's just kind of part of the way that it happens out here in the wild in Oklahoma. It's very, very, very hot. And that makes your paint dry quicker. Maybe I should have wet that before I started it, because now it's all kinds of like bloomy. Now I'm just putting that in a little bit darker. Towards the bottom we have a little bit of shadow and things like that. So we've got kind of this far away, like green. Oh, there's an enormous ant going by there. I hope it doesn't bite me. This is like the lawn type color here. I don't know, there's a weird mark coming down my page right here. It almost looks like there's been wax or something that's resisting it. Oh well, that's alright. Yike. That ant was about to get me. I had to shoo him away. Hopefully he doesn't come back and bite me for that. Mix a couple of these two colors together for these front plants. Now I need to bring in some of the darker colors at the bottoms of them and things like that for shadow. I'm going to put a little bit of yellow up in here to kind of differentiate some of that from the background. Okay, there's, like right underneath here, there's a very, very yellow plant. It's a little bit greenish, but it's very, very yellow. So I'm going to mix a little bit of my sap green into that, and I'm going to use that as the base of this. I think I'm going to just use creative license and make this one of the more blue-green type colors, just to differentiate it from that behind it. Like the rest of this stuff, we're just going to make a general like green. Airplanes going overhead. I think I'll just leave that white down there at the bottom to give that a little bit of a painterly feel, sketchy feel. I am going to put in just a tiny little bit of blue for this. Now, let's go with, okay, so we've got a lot of browns for this bronze statue. I'm gonna like try to wet that a little bit better. I'm just gonna go ahead and put it over here next to these greens here. I'm just gonna go ahead and give it, that was a little too dark, I think. A once over, oops, and I've gotten the tree on her elbow. Shoot, oh well. Now, I'm gonna have to let that dry. So, we need to come back in, I think, with some more detail on some of this other stuff. Putting some Payne's Gray in my burnt umber to take it a little bit away from that reddish brown. There is reddish brown in here, but there's also some like kind of greenish brown. That's got the bronze situation going on there, you know. All right, so now we're just gonna come in with some shadow on this. Most of this is gonna be like very much a lot browner. So now this part right here, we've just got a whole lot of dark going on underneath her skirt where it kind of blends in with the stump that she's sitting on. Sorry, these are teeny tiny little details, so I'm trying really to almost not breathe even, much less speak. All right, now let's bring some more of this color across the chest because that's all darker than I have it. All right, so that comes across on one side of the leg. Got a little bit of skirt there. And then the shiny part comes down the leg. Needs to be darker down here. Alright, I need to mix up some very much darker here real quick. To actually release some of this brown. See, this is part of why I don't like Winsor & Newton, is because it's so hard to reactivate it once it's dry in a palette. That's part of why I went to Daniel Smith, because they are so easy to reactivate. Sennelier also is very easy to reactivate. I have reached the point in my life where I cannot quite see things far away very well, and if I put on my glasses for far away, then I can't see the stuff up close. So it makes it very difficult for plein air painting. You know. I think she still needs to have her face in more shadow over here, but not that much. Yeah, maybe I do actually. Okay, now, hopefully this is dry enough right here to bring back in some of the detail that I've lost. And then you have some fabric folds coming back in here, and here, and across there. You have more fabric folds here. And this is just going just almost all the way to Payne's Gray to get in those final little really dark details. I can see that book, but I also can't see the detail from here of what's going on with it. So I'm just going to make it a little V right there. kind of have it like that. It needs to be darker underneath her hand right here. Okay, I'm getting close to being done with this, I think, because I don't want to just sit here and belabor everything and overwork it. And then I'm going to put a little bit of something, some sort of definition down here in this. Maybe just some kind of grasses. There is some kind of spiky grass there that I left out. So I'm just doing that for a little bit of something there. As far as that goes, I'm just going to add a little bit of Posca pen for some highlights and call it done. Alright, so some very high highlights on the top of her head. And along the hair lines. Okay, and then the shoulder for sure. And then this shoulder, definitely. It's very, very bright right now because the sun kind of came out. It's peeking out a little bit. And then definitely all along this leg area and across to this one. Top of the knee, top of the foot. Little toe area, and then you have some of it coming in right here, and then back behind, and a tiny little bit right here where it's reflecting from somewhere, right there, right there, a little bit on the top of her hand. And there are little ants biting me. Okay. I think I'm going to call that done because I'm being bitten and I want to get out of here. I may do some more touch-ups once I get back to the studio though. Alright, I am now back in the studio, as you can probably tell from the lack of cicada noise. Those cicadas were loud, man. Anyway, and I just want to use a tiny little bit of pastels for some of these plants here in the front, just to give just a tiny little bit of definition. I have quite a selection of very, very light Sennelier pastels here, so I'm just going to add a little bit of definition there, just to differentiate that from the background, just for fun. And I'm just spreading that in. That was a little much. Okay. Let's see. This one I think would be nice for this crazy lime green plant here. That's fun. I think that adds a little bit. And then I think I'll just grab this one right here for difference sake. It's got some more blue to it, and I'm gonna grab the top of that one as well, just for fun. Just adding a tiny bit more paint. I'm going to do that to the edge of this book just so that you can see that it's there. It kind of lost a little bit of definition. And I did not notice this until I got up very close to it. There's actually a little rose in the middle of that book laying inside the crease of it, but I didn't add that. So, I mean, that's an awful lot of detail for a sketch this tiny. So I think I'm going to call that a day and say that it's done. And there you have it. There's the finished sketch, all dried and with the pastel and Posca pen and all that added to it. And that was a whole lot of fun. I mean, especially for how hot it was. I mean, that's really as good as it gets in Oklahoma in the summertime. The 80s, that's as good as it gets. I mean, sure, I was still sweating my face off, but I mean, it really could have been a whole lot worse. So it was a lot of fun. So there you go. And there you have it, a nice little plein air adventure to a lovely little park. Ant bites and all. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, all of that stuff, because that's how this channel gets to grow. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again in 2 weeks.